Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to paint some simple flowers. These are very simple and easy to paint. So I'm going to use this particular brush. This is size 6 round brush and this one is size 2 round brush, almost a similar size, but this one is more pointed. So for the fine element I'm going to use my black brush. Now with the help of watercolor, so first flower is of red color and I'm using this diluted red color, so mixing little bit of water into it to make it little bit diluted so that we can have little lighter shade. Now with this particular color you can start creating petals. Now as I said, things are pretty simple to paint, so you don't need to copy exact what I'm doing, but you can take a reference of what I'm doing. So I have created a small circle with the help of pencil so that we can define our center part of the flower. Now start creating petals like this, keeping these petals at distance a little bit so that we can have some darker petals in the center. Now I am creating this one smaller in size, as you can see, to get a little different perspective. So when you do little variation into the petal size, you will get different perspective of flowers, and this is the easiest way to get different perspective is what I can say. So my one petal at the base is little bit on the smaller size and the rest of the petals, as you can see, are quite bigger, and this is the first layer of my flowers. Now this is my flower and I also want to create a flower bird. So for that I'm creating 2 to 3 petals only at one side to make it look like this is half bloomed flower. So something like this you can do. So I have created 2 bigger petals, 2 smaller in between, and this one is the side and little bit closed one. Now with the help of darker color you can start creating few more petals, and because the color is little darker, so you can definitely see the overlapping of bigger petals and smaller petals and all these things. Now with the help of green color you can start creating stems and leaf. So for this particular one I'm doing something like this. I have created 2 stems. For the side perspective flower you can have the base of the flower, the sepals, so you can have a green element like this at the base, and you can have little darker color around the stem as well. You can have little bit texture around it. And then for the leaf I'm just creating some random strokes to create serrated leaves, and these are randomly serrated leaves, so no pattern as such, but you can have a leaf like this wherein there is no defined structure as such. So I'm roughly creating these leaves like this, and I think this much is enough. I want to keep things simple, so this much is fine. Now at the center part of the flower you can have either yellow color or orange color, or you can have little bit darker color, so you can have little dots of black in between, not very prominent but little visibility of darker color is also fine. And that's all we needed for this particular flower. If you want you can have more petals in between. So something like this you can do and keep it aside. We are going to do the last step, creating some lines and pattern, at the end of this video. Now let's move to the second flower. So I'm using Indian yellow color and I'm creating the center part of the flower. So this center part is little bigger, so you can start with the center part first, and I'm using very lighter shade of green color as well. So you will see a hint of green color and hint of yellow color into the center part of the flower, and you can add little dots around it to get little texture. Now with the help of orange red color, so I'm going to paint some petals. So this is more towards the orange side, but I have mixed little bit of red into it, and start creating some random petals like these, mostly towards the bottom side. So as you can see there is no defined petals that I am doing, randomly creating these petals. Some of them are smaller in size, few of them are bigger in size, and for the upward direction you can keep the petal size is smaller in size, so that you will see a different perspective altogether. So if you are going to keep the bigger petals for the upward direction as well, you won't be able to define the perspective. I want to keep the perspective more towards the sky, so flower is facing towards the upward direction. So for that you need little variation into the petal size, and I have added some more petals in between to make it little bushier. And see how beautiful this perspective is, which I have created randomly, just keeping the petal size little different from each other. And the center part of the flower is also important, so something like this you can do. Now with the help of green color, how you can make a green color is mix blue and yellow together. Based on what kind of blue and what kind of yellow you are using, you will get a nice green shade. Now at the base of these flowers I am creating some leaf. So these leaves are very random in shape and size, as you can see. So add some strokes, smaller and bigger, and add them together to create these leaves kind of pattern. And we are done with first two flowers, and now we can move to the next one. So for this particular one I'm loading two color into my brush. So first one is the white color, and I'm loading my brush completely with this particular color, and then at the tip of my brush I'm using red color. So two colors together. Now with these colors you can start creating petals. So create one petal, an oval kind of shape like this, and then create another petal at one side and repeat the same thing for another side as well. And if you feel like you're not able to see both the colors, you can load white color again, and then you can have a small quantity of red color at the tip, and you will automatically see a white and red kind of color into your petals. And this is the easiest way whenever you need colors like these, the faded red color you can say, and create flower. So have some more petals around it, and you can also have a flower bud. So this one is my flower. Few petals are more towards the white side and few petals are more towards the red side, so combination of both. And then with the help of green color, I have mixed little bit of red into my green to make it little darker. You can start creating a stem. So this one is inspired by magnolia, so I'm creating some stem kind of pattern. You can also create few sub branches as well, and then you can also have a flower, bird and leaf. So I'm creating some random texture around my stem area to make it look like little bit towards the rustic side. And then with the same process what we did with the flower, you can create one small flower bud. So this is more like a half bloomed flower you can say, not flower bud. And you can have 3 to 4 petals, and then at the base you can see some green structure which is the sepals. And that's all we needed. Now additional what I'm doing is, with the help of red color I'm creating few more petals in between, but make sure your previous petal have dried completely, then only you can perform this particular step. Otherwise you will mess with the color, which won't look good. So let it dry, and then if needed you can have few darker petals like this. So we have combination of lighter color, darker color both, and something like this we have created for this particular flower. Now let's move to the last one. So I hope all these 3 flowers are simple and easy to paint. So let's do the 4th one. So create a stem. This time I have started with this stem first. Create some small texture around the stem area. Create sepals. This could be little bigger, and this one is the hanging flowers. And then few leaves around it. So you can create some simple leaves like this throughout the stem area. These things you can define for yourself, although these are imaginary flowers, so I'm doing it by my own, so there is no defined rule as such. and then with the help of orange color you can create flower. So flowers are hanging flower, so these flowers are bell shaped flower, so you can create something like this. You can have little texture around the base area to get the opening of flower, and then you can lift little bit of color from the area to get little shiny kind of effect. And then I think we should have one more flower, so I'm adding one more stem here, and this time I want to keep it more like a closed flower, so the flower is not bloomed yet, so you can have an oval kind of shape for this particular one. So these are the two flowers and these are the base of the flower. Now the last thing that we are going to do is creating some lines and patterns around the petal area for all the 4 flowers. So that is something pending. So once we are done with this particular flower, we are going to do the last step for all the flowers that we have. So with the help of white color, this time the white color should be a little bit on the concentrated side, not the diluted one, because we are using watercolor and using white color is difficult. So I'm using very thick white color, you can say, and with the help of tip of my brush, I'm using my size 02 round brush and it has very pointed end at the tip. So with the help of tip of your brush you can create some lines and pattern with the help of white color like this. Same thing you can do for this particular flower as well. So for the red flowers I'm using white color to paint all these lines and patterns around the leaf area, and for the orange flower I'm going to do the same thing with the help of red color. So you can use red color little bit on the concentrated side, and then you can create some lines and pattern for the orange flower that you have. And this is the final step that we are doing, and you can do the same thing for the leaves as well. So you can use little darker color of green and you can have some line and pattern for the leaves as well. So hope this video is easy and simple for you guys, and I have kept everything simple and easy so that even if you are a beginner you can paint all these things easily. So hope this is easy for you to follow, and please do let me know if you have any kind of questions for me, any kind of feedback for me. And thank you so much for watching my videos. See you all in the next video with one more simple tutorial.